Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Today I'm going over with you guys a $250 fall buying guide. Also, hope you're all doing really well today. So basically, I'm going to be going over fragrances with you guys today, and if you tally up the total for each one of these fragrances, it's going to come to under 250 bucks. I'm going to let you guys know where I priced them, the sizes, and all that good stuff as we go along through this video. Also going to give you some alternate fragrances that you might consider other than the ones that I chose. So let's jump into this. Now, one thing to know as I tell you guys the pricing and everything, at FragranceNet, I used a 35% off code. So not 25% off, and the 35% off code is right here. RTCA7. Do be aware though, FragranceNet changes those codes up. So if you're watching this in the future, good chance that code doesn't work anymore and now it's a new code. They've been doing that since the beginning of time. It's just the way it is. It's been a while since I've done one of these guides. I did a beginner's $250 guide a while back, which I really need to update. And before I did that, I decided let's go ahead and do a fall one since we're heading into fall, even though you probably can't tell that by the video right now because the sun is right in my face. It's really warm outside. It's actually super nice, but it's gonna be fall soon, I'm pretty sure. Let's kick this off with a fragrance from Trisari Reflesso. You can get a 50 ml bottle of this for $22.09 from FragranceNet. This has tonka, apple, leather, and lavender as some of the notes in the fragrance, and this one actually bears more than a passing similarity to La Nuit de l'Homme from Yves Saint Laurent. It's apparent right away as soon as you spray it on. Now, even though there's not cardamom in here and the notes break down, it's definitely gonna give you that vibe. So this one's gonna have that sweetness, a little bit of spiciness, some fruit from the apple, nice leather as it dries down. Great evening fragrance. That being said, it'll work during the day just as well. The main drawback with this one, if you wanna call it that, is a lot of people hate the bottle. So, man, I'll take that, 22 bucks. And the worst thing people are gonna say is, hey, the bottle's kinda ugly, man. Okay. So Trisari Reflesso, sick fragrance for the price, $22.09, starting off things right. Next one's more expensive, $37.39. This one is from Fragrance X, not FragranceNet, 50 ml size bottle. Now, if they had a 50 ml in stock at FragranceNet, as of when I shot this video, it'd probably be cheaper there, but Fragrance X is where I found this one, and it is Wanted by Night from Azzaro. Cinnamon, mandarin orange, tobacco, other fruity notes in here. This one, a big compliment puller. So if that's important to you, this one is gonna do that for you very well. And of course, like the name alludes to, great evening fragrance, great night out fragrance. The original Wanted, you can usually get cheaper than Wanted by Night. That being said, they're not really super similar. The original Wanted, more of an Invictus style fragrance. So if you're after something like that, the original Wanted could work for you, but overall Wanted by Night is a better fragrance, better choice for fall, and makes this list pretty easily actually. Next one is $35.74. Again, 50 ml size bottle from FragranceNet this time. And this one's kind of under the radar a little bit. Doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but this one also, pretty big compliment puller. Good performance with this one, lasts for a long time, projects very well, and pretty unique also. From Carolina Herrera, 212 VIP Black. This one has anise, lavender, absinthe, and vanilla as some of the notes. And I know you might be thinking, yeah, that note breakdown, that doesn't sound very good. You know, absinthe and anise in there, and I'm trying to wear it to pull attention or pull compliments, whatever. It doesn't sound like it'd work, but it does. And now I'm blind. Like I said, this one's pretty unique, but an attention grabber, compliment puller, and really versatile, much more than you would think. This one is one that not many people are wearing, not many people are talking about, little bit under the radar, hidden gem-ish, if you want to call it that, but very solid. Check it out. Also, if any of you think that I've left something out here, a really great fragrance that you could slot in here for not too much money, leave it in the comments below and let me know where you priced it at, what the fragrance is. The next one is $24.69 for a 4.2 ounce bottle. So This one, you're getting a lot for your money, and that's from Fragrance Net. It's a fragrance I've talked about a lot. One that I really, really enjoyed the first time I smelled it. Still do enjoy it. Halloween Man X. Coffee, tonka, whiskey, cinnamon, leather, some of the notes in the fragrance. A lot of that is gonna be put into a blackjack accord, which is basically all those. Edward likes it, you hear that? Yo, Edward, do you like Halloween Man X? Hey, hey, hey. So yeah, Halloween Man X gives you a nice roasted coffee kind of vibe. Okay, bro, you made your point. Halloween Man X has a really nice roasted coffee note. So it's got that kind of burnt edge to the coffee in here. And you've got a little boozy whiskey. The leather doesn't come out as much, but you pick it up as it dries down. Fantastic fragrance, great bang for your buck. And this is one that probably for the foreseeable future, I'll have it on cheapy lists and things like that, because I really do think it's the best Halloween Man fragrance and a great bang for your buck, a great buy. Next up, from Burberry, Burberry London. This is, for me, like the go-to Burberry fragrance. It's not Mr. Burberry, it's not Touch, it's not Brit, it's not any of the other flankers. It's London, 2404 for a 50 ml from Fragrance Net. A lot of people might put this out more toward like wintertime, you know, more for Thanksgiving, Christmas, the holiday season, but I think it works great in fall as well as winter. Tobacco, cinnamon, port wine accord, leather, some of the notes in the fragrance. Now I know hearing all those, if you've never smelled it, you might think, oh man, that's gonna be heavy, that's gonna be ultra masculine. It's really not. It's not a heavy fragrance. The performance is not amazing, but the sweet spiciness in here with that port wine, with that tobacco and cinnamon, fantastic. This is a fragrance I fell in love with the first time I smelled it. I have a couple bottles of it for whatever reason. I bought a backup at one point. It's a great scent. I love Burberry London. So when I'm putting a list together like this, I try to put in at least a few really cheap fragrances, you know, in the $20 to $30 range that I think give you more than what you're paying. And this is one of those. The next fragrance is the most expensive one on this list. It's $47.44 for a 50 ml from Fragrance Net, Prada Lunarosa Black. Lunarosa Black is a fragrance that I think is awesome. I think that for your average guy, it's gonna be really unique, but at the same time, kind of like 212 VIP Black is a compliment puller. It has good versatility, a great nighttime fragrance, and assuming it's at least a little bit cool outside, great daytime fragrance as well. Tonka, amber, angelica, and patchouli, some of the notes in this fragrance. It has facets in the fragrance that remind me of other ones. Midnight in Paris by Van Cleef & Arpels. Rest in peace, discontinued scent. I love it. Burberry Black, and also just the tiniest smidge of Lunarosa Sport, tiniest little bit. Much, 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 much closer to the first two, Burberry Black and Midnight in Paris. So if you're familiar with those fragrances, it's got a little bit of that in here. This one is, yeah, without a doubt, my favorite Lunarosa. Had to think about it for just 1 second to make sure, but yeah, Lunarosa Black, my favorite hands down. And that one makes this list pretty easily because of my love for the fragrance. Next one is $29.24 for 75 ml bottle from Fragrance Net. It is John Varvatos Vintage. Tobacco, suede, tonka, fir, and rhubarb. Some of the notes in the fragrance. Yes, another fragrance that has tobacco in it, but tobacco is one of those notes that works so well in fall, and it can come across so many different ways. So don't let that dissuade you from any of these tobacco scents. They all do their own thing. Varvatos Vintage, for me, the best Varvatos fragrance. Now, Artisan Pure is great for warm weather, but overall, I prefer Vintage even over Artisan Pure. The performance for this one is not great. That being said, the price is not all that high, so you can go pretty heavy if you want to and re-up again, buy another bottle, or get a bigger bottle than 2.5 ounces. You could go for the 4.2. This one, very nice. It's got a lot in there. It's got a ton of notes. It's got sweetness, it's got spiciness, it's got richness, it's got depth, but at the same time, really appealing, easy to wear. So Varvatos Vintage, check that one out if you haven't already. I've talked about it a bunch because I love it. So at this point, we're getting pretty close to the 250, and the last one is $28.59 for a 50 ml bottle from Fragrance Net. and it is Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Toilette, the quintessential fall designer fragrance, date night fragrance. You could pony up a little bit more and get the Eau de Parfum, which is a little bit better than the Eau de Toilette. It's gonna give you more longevity, slightly better projection, and a little more richness, but that would put me over $250. So Eau de Toilette, it is, yeah. Amber, tobacco, cardamom, ginger, and grapefruit. Some of the notes in this fragrance, like I said, almost the go-to date night fragrance for so many people, including myself at one point in time. Big compliment puller. Performance, not amazing, but it's often forgiven with this fragrance because it is so alluring that people will be like, oh, what do you have on? And lean in closer. At least that's what everybody says. Does that always happen? No. Has it happened before? Yes. That's kind of one of the things that people will talk about with date night fragrances, that you don't necessarily want them to be too loud because you don't want them to be aggressive or choking somebody out. You want them to be more soft and sensual, right? Makes sense. So the One Eau de Toilette from Dolce & Gabbana, gonna wrap this list up for me under $250. So all those fragrances, 8 I believe put together, under $250, but I do have some honorable mentions that you could swap in for any of these fragrances and still be right around $250. The first one is Black XS by Paco Rabanne. You can get this for about $36 from FragranceNet. That's a 50 ml bottle. This one, another great compliment pulling fragrance. When this first came out, it was actually a really nice club scent. People would wear it, get noticed, get attention. It just never caught on the same way that 1 Million did by the same house, but for a lot of people it worked better. It has praline, citrus, cinnamon, and patchouli as some of the notes, and the praline note here is the one that most people will remember from the scent, that nice sweetness. Also in 2018, the bottle style changed up. It used to be in a longer bottle, which is the type that I have. Now it comes in a bottle that looks kind of like Pure XS's bottle, or exactly like Pure XS's bottle, just with a different gradient. And if you buy Black XS new from a discounter nowadays, chances are that's the bottle you're gonna get, that bottle design rather. The next one is 4249. That's from Fragrance X, and it is a tester, 100 ml tester of Boss bottled oud from Hugo Boss. And this one I love, one of the best designer ouds that you can get. What's funny is on the box for this one, it says that it uses natural oud, and that may be the case, that there's a little drop in there of natural oud. Do I think that it's loaded down with natural oud? No, not at all. But still, there's at least a drop in there. Despite all that though, fragrance is awesome. It takes the Hugo Boss bottle DNA and actually gives it a little bit more maturity, a little more depth. That little touch of oud works wonderfully with the apple in there, with the cinnamon. Great fragrance. Edward loves it too. The next one's 3184 from FragranceNet, 100 ml size bottle, Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo. You could also go with Uomo Signature, but that one is gonna be just a little bit more. Tiramisu, tonka, ambroxan, and cardamom. Some of the notes in Ferragamo Uomo is gonna give you a nice sweet coffee vibe for the most part. This one, really wearable, highly versatile, big people pleaser. The original Uomo and Uomo Signature, in my opinion, the best for fall and winter. Maybe Signature a little bit more for winter, and Uomo a little bit more for fall. And another positive about this one is the bottle is really cool, in my opinion. That being said, it is a little divisive. Some people don't like it at all, but personally, I give it the thumbs up. Next one is 3249 from FragranceNet for 2 ounce. It's Explorer by Montblanc. This one is not really an out and out fall fragrance. It's more an all year versatile type fragrance. Of course, if you're not familiar with the scent, it is kind of a designer Aventus. Yeah, they copied Aventus's homework and changed some answers. Still yet though, really easy to wear fragrance and really nice. It's hard to dislike it when you actually smell it. It smells good. And then the last one is $27.19 for 50 ml from FragranceNet, and this one is probably, of the honorable mentions, the one that's flown under the radar the most. It's Azzaro Intense, or Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. Cinnamon, brandy, amber, and tonka, some of the notes in the fragrance. And this one is sort of a re-release. It came out in 2015, but there already was an Azzaro Pour Homme Intense before that. They just kind of reworked it. And so the version that you would get now is the one that came out in 2015. This one, for the price, really high quality, great performance for me. It smells amazing. Maybe for really young guys out there, might be too mature for them. So you probably want to be in your upper 20s or above if you're going to check this one out, but it is a good freaking fragrance that is overlooked. So those are the honorable mentions. You could take those and remove one of the ones I talked about before and slot one of these in there, and you're still gonna have a killer setup for fall. All right guys, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.